my PJs so I could head to bed, I heard my mother come home and she shouted my name. As soon as I was going to open my bedroom door, I got a text. A text from my mother telling me that she was almost here.
I'm afraid of the ocean. I'm not afraid of what's in it or of drowning. I'm afraid of all the dead bodies I have left there.
I always loved my crush, Liam, but the only issue was my friend Eliana also liked him. She was prettier than me and more popular. Eliana and I were walking when Liam gave flowers to her. I felt betrayed. Eliana always bragged about her and Liam. I heard Liam tell her that she had the prettiest face he'd ever seen. Me and Eliana had planned a sleepover that night. I grabbed her phone and told Liam to come over. When Liam came to the door, I grabbed a knife and told him I made sure you wouldn't see that face again.
Everyone says my school is haunted, but I never believe them because nothing ever happens. So one day my friend dared me to sneak into the school at night and stay there overnight, and she will give me $100. I usually would not agree to something like this, but I needed the money. So later on I packed everything up and went to the school. The doors were unlocked for some reason, so I just went through them. I decided to set up camp beside the bleachers, since that was the warmest spot. I had to video call my friend every hour, so she made sure I was in the school, and didn't sissy out. Everything was going fine until I heard someone. I quickly hid as I thought it was the security guard, but it was not. It was...
She always loved to ding-dong ditch. It was her favorite hobby, and she loved the thrill. One day, as she sat down to watch TV, the news appeared.
Breaking news! A kidnapper is on the loose! Stay safe!
This is silly.
But as Ray knocked, she got grabbed by the shoulder and pulled inside. She went missing, so the police went to her house. They started to look around the neighborhood and got this house. But the police saw something horrifying. Spent my holidays by myself, since being around my family just made me sick. One day, I got an invitation to my grandfather's funeral. The invitation also mentioned to bring a side dish for dinner. So I stayed up all night cooking one of my favorite beef stew. When I arrived, I was unsurprisingly greeted coldly by my family. In the middle of one of the people talking, a scream rang throughout the room. One of my aunts had spit out a human eyeball onto the ground. Everyone saw the source of where the eyeball was from, my beef stew. Everyone was screaming in realization of what they had just eaten. No one was normal in this family, including me.
I always had this huge hatred for my best friend named Leonore. I hated her, and the worst part is she was always kind to me. We hung out all the time, and I always played off the best friend role, but it was all an act. One night, I was at her house for a sleepover. She was always fast asleep. So I set my plan in action. I went over to her bedside and hit her with a bat. After that, I carried her to my car, which I drove over to the bridge, where I dropped her down to the lake. 5 months have gone by, and I transferred to a new school. I had many friends and I was way more prettier. One day, the teacher announced a new student in our class.
Today we have a new student in our class. This is Leonore.
I froze in fear when I saw
Blair have been friends since we were little kids. We both said we were going to be friends forever, no matter what. In high school, she became more pretty and really popular. She always had the spotlight when we were together. One day, she told me she wanted to stop being friends with me. I asked her why she wanted to stop being friends. She told me I wasn't pretty enough to be seen with her. When school ended, I followed her home, and that was the last time she was seen. The next day, I went to school, and I looked better. I finally got the attention that I wanted.
Ellie hated her own daughter because she had an ugly face. When she was with her daughter, Ellie was always gossiped about and pointed at. That made Ellie hate her daughter more and more. Then Ellie decided to kill her daughter by putting a pillow on her face. Ellie's daughter struggled and died. A year later, Ellie became pregnant. She gave birth to a beautiful daughter. Everyone around felt happy with seeing the mother and daughter. One day, when both of them were watching TV, suddenly the daughter asked Ellie a question that made her face pale. The daughter asked,
Why you kill me? Why?
Always go on walks in the park at night, but every Saturday I noticed a man sitting by a tree. I was always curious why he was there at the same time and in the same spot. I started to walk home how I normally do, but I noticed that there was a creepy mask on the sidewalk. I didn't think much of it because Halloween was a few days ago. By the time I got home, I had forgotten about the mask and went to sleep. As I was sleeping, I heard my doorbell ring. And as I opened the door, I saw the same mask outside. I quickly went back inside and locked the door. As I was going back to my room, I heard glass break. I ran downstairs to see what had happened, and in my kitchen, I saw the man from the park standing there